The Mars Exploration Rover mission, a long-lasting journey to the red planet Mars, allowed NASA to gather footage and information. The advancements in technology and the money needed to fund the mission eventually helped with the navigation on this rocky Mars climate. This mission was and still is a huge achievement, not only for NASA, but the whole world.
The Mars Rover mission was a rover mission conducted by NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. This mission was started to find out if there were signs of water or life on Mars. They thought that if there were to be signs of water or life on the planet, that we could potentially live there in case of disaster on Earth. This is one of the main conflicts which started the mission. On November 26, 2011, the rover was launched on its 9-month journey to the red planet Mars. The rover was planned to explore Mars for around 90 days, but they then continued to gather information for over 5 years. Here are some examples of what the rover might have looked like on Mars. At the end, this mission ended up being very successful. Today, NASA and their researchers are still searching for more information.
NASA's first attempt to land on Mars failed in 1999, but the Mars Expedition Rover launched again on Christmas Day 2003. Compromise is evident because even though NASA failed, they didn't give up and still tried to send a rover out to Mars. Both Spirit and Opportunity were able to take some amazing panoramas and pictures on their journey to Mars. The first 470 pictures took over a week to send to Earth. Although it was hard work, NASA eventually got the pictures and uploaded them to their website. In order to select what names would be given to NASA's 2 new rovers, they held a contest that could be entered by anyone in the United States. Sophie Collis, a 9-year-old girl born in Siberia who was adopted by a family in Arizona, won with the names Spirit and Opportunity. This is what she wrote in her essay. I used to live in an orphanage. It was dark, cold, and lonely. At night, I looked up at the sparkly sky and felt better. I dreamed that I could fly there. In America, I can make all of my dreams come true. Thank you for the spirit and opportunity, said Sophie. Sophie's personal connection to the entry is what helped her win. It was generous of NASA to allow citizens to have input on what the names of the rovers should be by holding up a contest. This evidence shows compromise because NASA let the public have a say in what they should name America's famous rovers.
One very important person who was involved with this mission was Stephen Squires. He is also the man who wanted to send rovers to Mars in the first place. Stephen Squires is a professor at Cornell University and is very intelligent. As he once said, the design lifetime was 90 days, and we're coming up on 3 years. Spirit spent most of the year exploring a feature we call home plate, an explosive volcanic deposit with interesting geology.
This proves that the rovers found more information than was expected.
Another significant person who was involved with the Mars Exploration Rover mission was President George W. Bush. President Bush gave an important speech about the mission and how NASA was going to improve their missions. As he once said, we can use our time on the moon to develop and test new approaches and technologies and systems that will allow us to function in other, more challenging environments. Another quote that President George W. Bush said was, America will finish what it started, completing the International Space Station by 2010. Research on the station will be focused on studying the long-term effects of space travel on humans, preparing for the longer journeys of the future. NASA added some new technologies to the rovers. They added 10 cameras with a total of 16 lenses. These 3D cameras are on the top of a mast that raises them about 6 feet above the ground. The cameras relay the view to NASA scientists on Earth, so NASA can see whatever the rovers see or pick up with the cameras. HAZ cams are mounted underneath the rover at the front and back. These help the rovers from getting lost or accidentally running into something. Not only do the cameras capture images, but they also help where the rovers are and direct them, so they do not get lost or stuck. The cameras are a significant addition and will help NASA find out if there really is life on Mars, and if they can send a human to Mars and back.
It is funny how NASA is exploring Mars,
But maybe Mars is exploring us.
The Mars Exploration Rover mission cost $82 million. However, it wasn't just one mission, of course. NASA wanted the mission to be a 90-day trip, roaming around Mars, gathering information. Nevertheless, they ended up extending the mission again and again. From that point, there was a total of 5 missions that they added on.
The first 4 missions out of the 5 extensions amounted to an estimate of $106 million. The last and final extension mission was at least $20 million. Millions may seem like a lot, but NASA in total has spent $526.178 billion since 1958. 2 rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, were sent on a mission to explore the red and rocky planet named Mars.
Spirit and Opportunity were meant to roam around Mars for a maximum of 90 days. However, the 2 rovers continued to pick up more information on the surface of Mars without anything to hold them back for 5 years. Then an accident happened. One of the rovers, Spirit, got trapped in loose soil on Mars and could not move. NASA decided to put Spirit's mission to an end.
This mission was a huge accomplishment for not only America, but the whole world. If something would ever happen to Earth, we would know exactly where to go.
Now we can start making the technology to bring along with us to discover life on the red planet Mars. Would you ever move to Mars?
Dun, dun, dun.